Well. Here we go. Hello, I am Dependent Fanatic, and I am back with you for another preview of Michigan football. Michigan is now ranked number 21 in the AP, and they are going on the road to face a 3-0 Nebraska team. I am surprised that Nebraska was not ranked for this game, but I'm okay with it. Michigan has faced three straight quarterbacks now that are pretty darn good and get the ball out quickly. So hopefully they learned something from all of those games, because now it's another one in Dylan Raiola. Michigan is allowing 271 yards per game is all, but only 89 rushing yards per game. So these quarterbacks have been somewhat effective in the past game versus Wink Martindale's defense because mostly the threat of their legs. Man, these guys have been running around and they've been getting beat up and they've been getting the ball out of their hands quickly before Michigan can get sacks, all that stuff. It's been effective. Michigan is allowing 182 passing yards per game to the likes of Jack Lane for New Mexico, who had 208 passing yards on 47 passes in that game. He had 3 interceptions in that game, but he got rid of the ball quick and completed 31 of those passes. And he took tons of hits, just like every quarterback that Michigan has played this season. They are getting beaten up, but they keep getting back up. I don't understand. That didn't happen in the past. These guys are tough. John Mateer from Oklahoma got beat up too, but he got the win because he was quick to get rid of the ball as well, with 21 completions for 270 yards passing. But he also ran for 74 yards on 19 carries. He took 4 yards the tough way repeatedly versus Michigan's defense. And that got them over the top versus Michigan at home. Central Michigan strategy was running the ball, which failed terribly. But Angel Flores, however you want to say it, was too effective versus Michigan as well. He was 7 of 12, only for 24 yards, but he was getting the ball out too quick. But his legs killed Michigan. He had 9 carries for 76 yards, which is an 8.4 yard average per carry. So enter Dylan Raiola for Nebraska, who is 3-0 and beating teams with ease. Bad teams, granted, but he's beating them with ease. He is 72 of 94 on the season, 76% for 829 yards and 8 passing touchdowns in 3 games. 3 games. Michigan's problem is not going to be him running the ball, as he only has 9 carries for 19 yards. So that is a good thing for Wink Martindale and this defense. So what can Nebraska and Raiola do versus Michigan's defense? Let's start with Nebraska's weapons, because obviously their offensive line is really good. And can they run the ball? Yeah, they can run the ball. Running back Emmett Johnson. I'm sure Emmett Johnson wants to be Emmett Smith, but he only has 52 carries for 326 yards in college. That's a 6.3 average, though, and he has 4 rushing touchdowns. He also has 11 catches out of the backfield and a receiving touchdown. Running back Quinton Ives has 16 carries for 119 yards. That's a 7.4 average per carry versus garbage, like I said, but he has 2 rushing touchdowns. He also has 3 catches for 43 yards out of the backfield, a 14.3 average. They have a tight end in Luke Lindenmeyer, who has 9 catches for 102 yards and 1 touchdown. And then 4 wide receivers that are viable for this offense in Dylan Raiola. Dane Key has 13 catches for 190 yards, 14.6 average per reception, and 3 receiving touchdowns. None of these guys are really runners, these wide receivers. They haven't used them in that way, which kind of concerns me. Maybe they will in this game. But wide receiver Ja'Cory Barney Jr. has 15 catches for 181 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Naziah Hunter has 11 catches for 163 yards, a 14.8 average per completion, and 1 touchdown. And then there's Cortez Mills, who only has 5 catches, but it's for 118 yards on the season, 23.6 yards per catch, and he has a touchdown. I think that since Dylan Raiola doesn't like to run, Wink Martindale can truly wreak havoc with his defense versus this team. Jayshon Barham is back. Ernest Hausman is back. The secondary is gelling. Hopefully Rod Moore is in the picture now. I picture a takeaway or 2 on this side of the ball from Michigan. Yes, I think Michigan takes it away from Nebraska, and Nebraska will not be able to run the ball as effectively as they had been. That said, what can Bryce Underwood and Michigan's offense and Chip Lindsey do versus Nebraska's defense? Let's see. Nebraska has played Cincinnati in garbage twice, basically. But they did beat Cincinnati in that neutral site. What are the stats after all of that? Nebraska is only allowing 8 points per game defensively, which is damn good. 202 yards per game is all. But it's a good thing for Michigan that 136 of those 202 yards are rushing yards allowed per game. And Michigan just had almost 400 rushing yards in their last game. Also, what is interesting is Nebraska is only allowing 66 passing yards per game. They have not seen the likes of a Bryce Underwood at quarterback yet. So, what is Michigan's game plan going to be? I expect they will want to make Bryce Underwood comfortable in this game. He is a team player, and he wants the run game to be electric, and I expect it will be, according to these stats. But it may be another case where he will have to open it up in this game, just like versus Central Michigan early on. He has proven that he can because the offensive line has made massive improvement from week 1 till now. Quarterback Bryce Underwood for Michigan is better than I thought he would be at this point. Some people wanted to see him unleashed in the run game versus Oklahoma to get that win. They got their wish, but it was a little bit late versus Central Michigan, where he had 9 carries. Most were not scripted. He was scrambling most of the time for 114 yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. In the pass game, he is only 46 of 80. So 58% is not great. But, man, he finds guys downfield. 628 passing yards already in 3 games and 2 passing touchdowns for Bryce Underwood. At the running back position, Michigan is deep as hell. They went 5 deep versus Central Michigan. I'm going to give you 3 here. Justice Haynes is amazing. Maybe a Heisman contender at the end of this season. He has 49 carries for 388 yards. That's a 7.9 average. And let's remember, he played at Oklahoma. He has 5 rushing touchdowns in 3 games. Running back Jordan Marshall is a specimen of his own. He just hasn't had the right continuity, maybe not the vision that Justice Haynes has, but the athleticism is there for this guy who is Mr. Ohio coming out of high school. Jordan Marshall has 30 carries for 109 yards, and that's only a 3.6 average. But he does have 2 rushing touchdowns. We all know he is more talented than what he has displayed so far in the first 3 games for Michigan. Jasper Parker had 1 drive versus Central Michigan when all the backups came in, and they gave him the ball 9 straight times. He had 9 carries for 45 yards and got a touchdown. It was a 5-yard average in that 1 drive for him. All right, so at tight end, we got a couple. More than a couple. But I'm going to list you the prominent ones here. Marlon Klein has only 7 catches, which kind of upsets me. He's a 6'5", huge body that is fast and quick. But he does have 100 yards and a touchdown receiving off those 7 catches. So, hey, he is good. We got to get him the ball more. And then Hogan Hansen at tight end is a beast as well. He got 3 catches for 43 yards versus Central Michigan alone. Why wasn't he playing earlier on, versus Oklahoma and stuff? At wide receiver, Donovan McCulley has 10 catches for 158 yards. That's a 15.8 yard average per completion. No touchdowns yet for the big 6'5", 230 guy, but I think he's going to get there. Samaj Morgan, the little guy, the slot guy, has 9 catches for 121 yards, 13.4 average per completion, and a touchdown. He has some drops, though. He had a drop that maybe could have went for a touchdown versus Central Michigan in this past game. He needs to get better. All that said, Michigan has to continue to try and get the ball to these skill players. And at the same time, you cannot abandon this running attack that Michigan has. That is where Bryce comes into play. He has to be more grown up than a true freshman quarterback is in this game on the road at Nebraska. I think he and Chip Lindsey will be able to muster up 31 points versus Nebraska on the road. And I think Wink Martindale and Michigan's defense, which hopefully includes Rod Moore this week. I heard he was ready to go over Central Michigan, but did not play. Here he goes, inserted in the secondary. Former All-American safety for Michigan in the national title season. He was out all last season. Hopefully he's back this week and will hold. Hopefully Michigan will hold. Nebraska and Dylan Raiola, their quarterback, to 24 points. That's right. Nebraska is number 10 in the resume ranking, which is based off who you beat, who you lost to, all that stuff, and by how much. They are number 10 right now. Michigan obviously took a L, so they're nowhere near the top 25 in the resume ranking, but I think Michigan is the better team. They are the better team in this game going on the road. It's not, maybe it will be like a last second touchdown where Corum eats the corn on you at your house. Maybe we're partying when you do your third quarter celebration again. Maybe Michigan wins by more than that this time. That's right. Michigan wins 31-24 on the road at Nebraska against Dylan Raiola and Matt Rule and company. And it's going to be 2-0 for Biff Poggi, the interim head coach at Michigan, while Sharon Moore is serving his stupid suspension. So there you go. Which, by the way, I think Sharon Moore should have just served the suspension in the first 2 games, huh? Now that we know what we know. But anyway, I digress. This is going to be a huge game for both of these teams. Nebraska is at home 3-0. They haven't beaten anybody yet. Michigan's coming into town, a ranked team. On the other hand, Michigan is barely a ranked team, and they have a loss, and they need this win on the road versus an undefeated Nebraska team. And that's what's going to happen. 31-24. What do you guys think in the comments below? Let me know. Have a great day, everybody. Like the video, please, and share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Watch the other videos that I posted. I referenced the resume ranking. You can go check that out. In that same video, I post my power ranking too. They are 2 different things. And hopefully you catch on after you watch both those videos, or watch that video. So anyway, without taking any more of your time, Michigan's going to win this game on the road. Let's go. Go Blue, baby.